What is going on, YouTube? Hope you guys are doing fantastic today. And today, I was trying to think of a video to record, and I had an idea to finally complain about something that I didn't like from Hi-Rez. I've been liking a lot of their stuff recently, and I don't want you guys to think that I'm biased now because I'm a caster or anything. So I'm going to complain a little bit. Allow me to complain a little bit. 10.3 came around, and it was supposed to help fix a lot of the problems with Smite. Healers have been in a very awkward state. They're either super busted running games, or they're just absolutely useless. And that kind of comes down to how healers interacted with anti-heal. And I made a bunch of videos about healers and anti-heal and my problem with it. And Hi-Rez came out with 10.3. 10.3 was the entire patch to nerf healing. In turn, you also needed to nerf anti-heal because anti-heal made healing terrible. Anti-heal outdid healing, but if you didn't build anti-healing, healing was just absolutely busted. So there's this weird in-between where both are just too strong for their own good. Instead, Hi-Rez removed healing that scaled with power. And how did this feel? When it originally came out, it made Aphrodite and Hell supports. Looking at their kits, Aphrodite's Kiss, Lovebirds, and Undying Love all got changed. Kiss now dealt damage, and Aphrodite shared percentage of her MP5 and her magical and physical protections with her soulmate instead of sharing a portion of her mana regeneration. Now, I think this ability's change completely was fine. I think this is good. I think even the MP5 and the physical and magical protections were good for her as a character. The scaling on the healing went down. She got heal per level, and then the base of it also went down, and it no longer scaled with magical power. On top of it, it became a ability cooldown reduction per every tick, and it was 0.25. All this stuff, by the way, has gotten nerfed. It's no longer these numbers, but I didn't want to go through and go back and forth between the current gods numbers and what it looked like back then. I just want to focus on this because this is what I kind of care about the most. On top of that, Undying Love gave jealousy to her and her ally, and using this ability now provides 5% of the jealousy buff towards Aphrodite and her soulmate, increasing their damage dealt by 8 up to 20%. So all in all, I really think these changes, other than this one right here, were good. Easily, they could have just changed how much healing you got from power and nerfed anti-heal how they did. And I think this character just feels a lot healthier to play against. The healing support meta was probably my least favorite meta ever, and I've been wanting to play something that wasn't a guardian support or like Herc or Horus or one of those assassins for years. It just never came across in front of me. And then like Eset and Nox too, and I thought this was something that I would really enjoy. It wasn't. It was terrible. They were unkillable. You needed Ankh even more than you did before because you needed that extra anti-heal to do more damage because they were so tanky. These gods were sitting at 300 protections of each, giving 60 protections to allies of both magical and physical. And it was just so frustrating. Looking at Hell also, same exact thing applies to Hell that I just said about Afro, where all these changes could have been good if they just nerfed the scaling on healing. Scaling on healing doesn't have to be 400 per every time you use your 1 on Hell, or 400 every time you use your 3 on Aphrodite. The Light Stance no longer increased healing, or decreased the enemy's power, 8% actually. And then Projectile on Decay also went through walls. Restoration now hit minions, and also healed allies and healed their mana. Okay, maybe not everything about it was fine. This mana heal, remove it. I hated that. A character that has full health or full sustain also gets full mana 24/7. No, get out of here with that. And then the healing came up per level, no longer scaled, and it provides 20% attack speed, and it also affected ally minion heal. It reads weird, but it also affected how allies healed. And then the switch stance on her on her ult is now 1 second instead of 2 seconds. So I think both of these gods, if they just nerfed how much it healed with, or kept their healing where it was, and they just nerfed their utility a little bit more, because these characters are just so not healing now. They're just super high utility gods that also heal enough that they're also healers. So now they're healers, they're utility gods. Aphrodite is a peel monster, and then Hell is just this god that'll just run you down, and you cannot run her down because she's just so fast. And on top of this, there's a bunch of other changes. Yamoja, Sylv, Chang'e, Ra, Guan, Terra, every god's healing got nerfed. Every god, not a single god escaped the nerfing. I think this is the patch that was the nerfing. And then they also added these new items. They added Asclepius, they added Rejuve Heart, and they added Last Gasp. Again, another part that just hit really well. I think I finally understand the niche they want for Rejuve Heart. And it was actually one of you guys that commented it and kind of led me to be like, okay, that makes sense. Actually a good idea. It's for gods that don't rely on their healing, but if you heal, you want that heal to be impactful. Something like Baron. I've been running it on Raw a little bit. It feels fine, but it doesn't feel great. Outside of them, I don't know anyone else that uses it that well, but it's a good idea, and I like the idea for it. Rod of Asclepius. No longer is it just this dumb, lame, only increases healing. It increases healing and it gives cooldown to allies. Super cool. Utility on these items instead of just making them true healing items is a good idea. And then Last Gasp, another one that's more of a damage dealing healing item for gods like Ra, Hell, Afro, gods that you want to do just that little bit extra damage. And then another just complete hit, CAD Club getting reworked to a much healthier spot. It was a little OP when it came out, but now that it's balanced, this item is sick. Vital is sick. Sekhmet's, now that it's gotten a few buffs and it's actually viable, it also plays really well. I loved almost all these changes, and I think this patch could have been so much better. They didn't just completely get rid of scaling with their power. Now these gods that are building full tank are healing for the same that the gods that are building full damage. And I think that's just unhealthy. If I wanted a god to heal for 200 in their ability, I don't want them to have to build, or I don't want them to be able to build full tank and heal that. I want them to build full power so I have an opportunity to kill them, or they kill me before I can kill them. And another change with it, these shield items. Such a good addition. This patch had so much potential, but I think they just overthought it a little bit too much and they removed the scaling on the healing. Realistically, what do you guys think if would have happened if they just nerfed the healing that you got from these things and added the utility to it? Instead of scaling by 10% for Afro 3, it scales by 5%. And then you move the base down just a lot. I think that's something that I didn't really add. You move the base down by a good chunk, and then you make it scale by slightly less because you don't want these gods to just be healing bots. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think that would make these gods feel healthier? Because currently, right now, even after all these nerfs, Afro is not fun to play against. I never play against her in mid. Every game, it's tank Hell, tank Afro that they are played, and it's not fun. And it's probably even worse than casuals where these gods were running rampant last patch, and now they're tanky doing it. Essentially, that's my rant, just talking about healing, some of the things I didn't like. This patch could have been a complete hit. I didn't love all the direction of the changes, but let me know what you guys think. Did you guys like the 10.3 patch? What were your guys' problems with it? Do you wish that the patch just didn't happen in general? Let me know what you guys think. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you guys again next time. Peace.